Welcome to Disenfranchised, episode 5. I'm your host, Keith Cunningham, and this is...
Travis Gearhart.
We are...
Disenfranchised.
All right, this episode, episode 5, we usually start out with sports, but it's a little different. I'm in studio. Travis is not. He's out in California with the libtards. But I'd like to talk about a couple libtards. I had a phone call from my mail lady, or my old mail lady at my old house. She called me and said, yeah, I've known her for years. She called me. She had a package that she's been trying to deliver. She sends it out and keeps coming back to her, sends it out, keeps coming back and forth. She said it's sitting on her desk. If I can swing in there and pick it up. She don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah, no problem. I happen to be going through town anyway, so I stopped in. And then I see the guy in there working, the postmaster general, really, really qualified individual. I asked him, I go, hey, there's a package on her desk. He told me to stop by and pick it up. It's not going through the mail. He got it, asked for my name, address, all that stuff. And then he goes, oh, that'll be $4.19 or something like that. What are you talking about? $4.19. I go, it's packaged, address, everything on there is fine. It has the stamps on it. They have shipped it back and forth, and it keeps getting denied and sent back. And he goes, yeah, it's $4.19 because we keep trying and it for some reason it's not working. So in order for me to get my package back, he wants me to give him $4.19, which fucking, I told him, I go, I haven't seen this package since October. We're in the middle of January. You're trying to mail this back and forth since October.
I haven't seen this since last year.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is at this point. So I told him, you know what? Keep it. Throw it in the garbage. And he gives me shit, so it's the first time I've had to tell a post office worker to fuck off. What is wrong with these people? Where do they hire these people? Got an addiction to shopping on Amazon. We take shit back all the time to UPS. I've never had a single problem. Never a single problem. I owned a business there for quite a while. We ran our invoices through the, U.S. Postal Service. There were so many times that I would charge people with late fees because we did not receive their payment. Well, come to find out, it was sitting on the floor and somebody's walking all over it. And when we receive it months later, it's got shoe prints all over it, or tire tracks, or it's ripped up. We've been charging people late fees, and then we get a hold of them. Oh, they finally found it. It was on the office floor at the post office. Somebody's just walking all over it. It's just ridiculous, and it was I sold that business, and that was the biggest headache of it, was dealing with the post office. And this might be a good poll question. Yes, the post office it's in the Constitution. Post office in the Constitution. They have to supply a post service or whichever you want to call it. Does it still need to be in there? It seems like if you use UPS or UPS or FedEx or pretty much anybody, is faster and cheaper, more reliable, and the post office is just terrible. I thought it was just our town. We moved to another town. Same shit.
It's government bureaucracy. I mean, it's kind of, ask anybody that's been in the military, and you have all these really gung-ho motherfuckers that are like, well, we're the best military in the entire world, and there's a lot of truth to that, don't get me wrong. But man, you talk to them and it's like, oh, I want military grade. You talk to somebody that's actually in the military and they're like, you know what, military grade? Military grade sucks, man. You know what military grade is? Military grade, usually shit, and ironically, we spend so much money on these things. I get it. It's kind of the, it kind of comes all back around to what we talk about every week in and week out. The government doesn't do much of anything efficiently or well. So, it's a money pit.
Yeah.
Does it need to be in the Constitution? I think it's a good poll question. When I edit, I'll edit it and send it out. For this
Yeah.
one, I'll do that poll question. But I'll give my answer right now. I think you leave it because I do think that it's such a bare bones essential thing that if you give me carte blanche to delete pretty much every other government bureaucracy, this one at least, and the only reason I say that is that you still have those little old ladies that's the only way that they
Yeah.
pay it, you know?
But
And that's
you
the
have
thing.
to, my view of it was when we would do billing and invoices, we were mailing hundreds at a
Right.
time. And there was a
Oh, you're right,
lot.
and that's why it sucks. That's why it's bullshit. That's why there's so many different, it's one of the things that we'll talk about when we get, Angelica on for the cryptocurrency stuff. It's kind of the same. Why do you think the cryptocurrency market has exploded? Well, it's because our actual currency, fiat currency, is shit. It's the inflation's through the roof, and yeah, some of the fucking they're like, oh well, inflation's down. No, 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 no. Inflation is down for the year. It's not like you reversed the past inflation. That past inflation is still there. The money isn't worth back what it was back then. It
and
just is
and
increasing at a lower rate.
well, and when it comes towards the worker end of it, when you get say a 3% raise at work and inflation's 5%, you didn't get a raise.
Yeah. You
You're
lost
you're
2%.
you're not even breaking even.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So,
talking
but
about
yeah, that'd be a good poll question, and you're not even breaking even, especially because especially if you have a dickhead boss that doesn't give you a raise.
yeah. Oh, well, speaking of shitty bosses, I've heard within the
It's
last
almost a
couple of
segue.
weeks. Now, mind you, this has nothing to do with my work. This is people I talk
This
to on
this
a
this
daily
isn't lunch, by
basis.
the way. It's sparkling water. I'm going back and forth between Corona and sparkling. I don't want you to think I
Yeah,
was just drinking a fucking bottle of wine on the.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe fuck it. It's California, man.
yeah. I've had people telling me their horror stories about work. Now, these are young people that are just graduating. I I wouldn't say, well, not just graduating. Let's say you're 2 years out of school, 2, 3 years out of school. You're getting a
Theoretically,
job, you're going to college, you're working these shit jobs, and then you just deal with a shitty boss at a shitty company that has a great Facebook page. Their marketing team is excellent, but everything else about them sucks. The I had one asking, they did their paychecks through ADP, asking, I need a copy of my paycheck stub, copy of my paycheck stub. Where do I get that? And the boss and the owner who kept saying, oh yeah, we'll get that for you. We'll get that for you. Still haven't got it. These
the it,
kids
it
need to start
it's
telling these bosses and telling these companies to fuck off.
well with
Go,
ADP, they should be able to just and the only reason I'm throwing in here with this is because I have ADP and I have an app that I can pull up all of my stuff.
well, here's an interesting one. The one telling me the ADP story has two jobs. Both of them use ADP. One company, she asked for that information on day one, the day she was hired. Bam, given to her. Now, the other one,
Got you.
still, she's
I
been
get
there
you.
since day one,
See, it
since she
made me it
opened.
made me want
She
to
was
log
at
into
the
it.
ribbon cutting, and you still haven't given access to that. Those bosses, and mind you, these aren't like 40, 50-year-old bosses been in business for years. These are 30-year-old guys that are a
that,
couple
that ought to
years
know how
older
to that
than
ought to know better. And ought to know how to fucking do it.
they should. And they're only 5 to 10 years older than them, but no, they're shitty. So I was a school board member for 5 years. I don't know how many diplomas have my name on it, signed it. But if I sign your diploma and you're dealing with a shitty boss, tell them to fuck off.
Always.
Life is too short to sit here and deal with these fucking assholes. Tell them to go fuck themselves and move on.
Yeah, well, and it's funny because they take away, when you're younger and you're first getting involved in business,
They're
I've had
a
a couple
bunch
of
of full
shitty bosses.
soul sucking assholes.
They
What
are
they
well,
are,
and
and they
they're
fucking thrive on it.
well, it was funny. So one of my particular companies, while I'm out here in California, I went and saw a buddy of mine, Brian. If you're listening, that was a fun night. Um, and we were like talking about because he was a representative for the company, in a different sense. I don't want to get into the weeds because I don't want to say anything about the companies and what we do. It's not relevant anyways. But just given the first name of the boss, my boss for that company, Sean, we were talking about it, and and he was talking about how he was glad that he didn't work with them anymore, and I was talking about how I was glad I didn't work with them anymore. And now, mind you, this was like 15 years ago. I was like 25, right? Um, it was right around the time I was on the Hebron Town Council, and there was the company I moved to Wisconsin for, right? So I dealt with this boss. I was 25 years old. It was my first like major like sales gig. It was my first like real money, right? And I did a good enough job within the first year to get a raise and a significant move to Wisconsin, right? They paid for everything. Um, Dude, my boss was a periodically a serial cheater. And I'm not talking like, okay, well maybe every once in a while, you caught your boss kind of, doing whatever a little, and you just kind of this was we every single time that we would go out, he was actively trying to take a woman back. And again, I'm not a saint, and I'm not judging. I don't care. Really, I don't. But it is I do care a little bit because his wife worked for the company, and she was like the nicest lady on the planet. And I used to then have to talk to her like the next morning, and she'd be like, "Oh, Sean didn't call me. Do you know where he's at?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he's fucking
I'm
face."
assuming he is
They
not
were
American.
Neither of them were
They're
American. So, but yeah,
they
I'm
were
like,
what? Wait, they were what?
neither of them are American.
Oh, what are they? English?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. That was probably a bad. Oh,
What?
hello. You're like an Indian. What do you mumble fucking over there, you dipshit? No, no. But I'd be like, yeah, he's probably face deep in muff. Like, what are you doing? And I had to fucking talk to this chick, and she again, nicest lady, dude. And it was like I was telling Brian, I was like, dude, I'm like, you know, like how just immoral was that? I look back on it now, and I'm like, you know. I had anxiety over that, like not like, "Oh god," but, it was tough, dude. Like, he would be like, I had a wife at the time and young kids, and she was not keen on me, like, going to the strip club, and I would have to lie about going to the strip club because if I didn't go to the strip club with him, I was probably gonna get fired. And I'm at a point now in my life where I'm with a girlfriend that if I had a boss that really wanted me to, I would just call her and be like, "Hey, I gotta go on this stupid fucking thing." Like, and she'd be like, "All right," and it would be what it is, right? Like that's where I'm at now because we're older. It's a better relationship. All that, all the other finer points, right? But it's still that's not the point. Like, the point is, like, no company should put you in a position like that where you're just so crazy, like, there was another company, and again, I'm not gonna go into the names or anything, but when I was divorced and I had an inappropriate relationship with my manager, and she quit, and then I got let go shortly after for a bunch of bogus reasons, and I look back on it now and I'm like, they kinda, like, made me, like, out to be the bad guy because I was the man. The fucking manager was sleeping with me. Well, you know what I mean? I'm
Don't they
the
say it takes two to tango?
well, not only does it take 2 to tango, I'm the fucking underling. What are you mad at me for? I'm the one being taken advantage of technically here, right? But because I got a fucking penis, I'm the issue, right? And I was like I didn't think about it till years later, and I was like, "Man, you know what?" And that wasn't why it was I honestly, I probably should have sued him for that. I had the lawyer that wanted me to do it, and I didn't do it, but whatever. Again, I'm not gonna get into that bullshit with that. But yeah, so yeah, we wanted to start the show off with some of those kind of stories. That was just some stuff that we were talking about, some
Yeah.
of the Best Buy math and the
Oh, yeah. Well, I
shitty
didn't
boss.
even talk about that. This
Oh, you
this is
didn't?
just
That was see,
fucking
this is why we can't talk before because I don't have the mental capacity to recognize show talk and pre-show talk. So all right, yeah. So
So,
all right, let's
I'm not knocking the kid, not knocking Best Buy or anything. I like Best Buy. Um, Sometime before Christmas, I bought my daughters TVs, and they're Insignia 40-inch, LED TVs. Nothing fancy, just, one of them has a certain spot on the wall that it has to go that a 40 fit perfect, and there's apparently not very many. Oh, and I wanted
so
a
she
Fire
said.
TV because everything, we use Amazon Fire Sticks, and I'm like, "Just get a Fire TV, it's easier, you don't need 2 remotes." So, they were cheap, 80, $90. Bought 2 of them. One of them works fine. The other one glitched out. We took it back, got another one. It glitched out, and when I say glitched out, the screen turns green and it's like buzzing and shit. It's like, "Meh." And again, not knocking Insignia. That's an Insignia right there. It's a 65, 70-inch
You
Insignia.
like point up to it and starts getting all glitchy.
Yeah. Turns fucking green on me. But, today we take one back, I got her a different TV, we're talking to the kid, and uh, we say to the kid, we're like, "Man, we bought 2 of them at the same time, one still works fine. This one took a shit and came in, brought it back, got another one, it took a shit," and it's like within a week later, and the kid goes, "Yeah, yeah, they had a batch of Samsung TVs do the same thing. It's all these like Christmas time TVs." And he goes, "Yeah, with Insignia TVs, about 75% of them are good. 75% of them, they have no problems at all. It's the other 35% that they have problems with." And I was like, "What?" I didn't say that to him. I turned to my daughter and I go, "Did you catch that?" And she's like, "Yeah, he said 75, 35." I'm like, "I got a fucking real genius here." And then when we get out in the car, my other daughter goes, "Did you hear that, Dad? 75, 35." And I'm like, "Whew, thank God my kids can do at least a little bit of math. Holy shit." So
75% of the time, it works every time.
that would have been funnier if he said that. All right,
Oh,
well, I
shit.
think
Yeah, so sports.
we get
From what
back
we're
to our
hearing, this is one of everyone's favorite parts is listening to us talk about sports. We have a whole following of people that literally just watch the first like half, and then we start talking about politics, and they're like, "We're turning it off," and that's okay. You know what? That's fine. But just do us
well,
a favor:
I
finish
I
watching the whole thing, even if you're not paying attention to it, even if you don't care. You might learn something. You're gonna learn
Yeah, and
something.
we bounce around so much, you might miss stuff.
We do.
And
That's
I
true.
hope I hope the beginning of this, of basically different life experience, was interesting. Like, talking about things that we've done in the past in politics and all that. A lot of people have told me that they're like, "Man, we never heard of that, we didn't know that." I'm like,
There is a lot of people that really don't know how that shit works, you know?
"Yeah,
You're absolutely right. There are a lot of people that, when you start talking about like, "Yeah, I used to be involved in this and that and another," and they're like, "Yeah, I wonder if I'll get a mailer," and I'll be like, "Well, how'd you vote?" And you find out, "Oh, well, you went back and forth." Well, then you're definitely gonna get a mailer because because they're gonna zero in on you. You're
and
a, you know, you're a hard R.
if you're lucky if you're lucky, you might get a coffee cup.
Ooh.
Who knows?"
And a dented mailbox.
Some of the
Allegedly.
coffee cups might have the "Made in China" sticker on the bottom, half fucking scraped off.
China. China.
China.
Well, maybe if they're from Canada, though, they're gonna be better on shipping. We'll talk about that
Oh,
later.
shit.
Ooh,
Now you gotta stick around to hear that shit.
we call that foreshadowing. Anyways.
Alright, so,
Anyway,
NCAA, really not much to say about it. Monday night is the, national championship between IU and Miami. Looks to be, I don't wanna say it's a home game for Miami. It's being played in Miami, but the last game was in Atlanta, and it was a sea of red, so
uh-huh.
We'll see how
Yep.
that one turns out.
I think I'm gonna say it right now, and I'm not saying anything that's really out of the norm. It's not like I'm reinventing anything. Hoosiers by a million. That's what I'm saying. Hoosiers by a fucking million. It's gonna be
That's
a
your
million.
over under.
The Hoosiers are gonna come into Miami, and they're just gonna, yeah, they're gonna
Well,
take it over.
since you can't bet on Hoosiers by a million because that wouldn't be worth a fuck. What's
Yeah.
your over under on how many penalty flags will be thrown?
Well, it's
Will a
college,
penalty
so the
flag
college
cost the
shouldn't
game?
actually. The college isn't too bad on penalty flags, actually. Not as bad as like tonight. So what Keith's referencing is I was getting dinner and we were both watching the Bills. So we're recording this on Saturday night. Because I'm going to be on a work site all day tomorrow, and I don't have time I probably won't have time to sit and do it. I'll edit it and get it up, on our usual Sunday night / Monday morning.
Yep.
Usually Sunday night more. So I'll make sure it gets done. And so because earlier this week we did the ghost hunter interview, which we'll talk about that later, but the, so I'm getting dinner and a beer, and we're texting, and the very end of the Bills Broncos game, right? You've got those 3 flags back to back to back. The first flag, I was like, all right, is it technically pass interference? Yes, like you see him hold the arm, but is it bad enough that I think they should have just let it play? That's what I think. I think bad enough, you should have just let it play. And actually bad enough because I think that was also the one where they had the pass interference and the roughing the passer. The roughing the passer, so I don't think it should have been a pass interference. I think they should have just done the roughing the passer because he did. He just walked up and just went woof and just laid him out way after the football was thrown. Like that was a very clear roughing the passer. Like I was at the bar and there was this guy that was really rooting hard for the Bills that I could hear in the bar. And he's like, oh, it's bullshit called bullshit. And then they show it and you hear him just, that he's wrong when the guy just shuts up. And he's like, I like wanted to turn
You're
around and be like,
you're out by Los Angeles and you have Buffalo Bills fans out there.
you know what? I was going to talk about that, dude. It's interesting because when I watched about the first half of the San Francisco game while I was there too. And there weren't that many people that were really like, of course it's Los Angeles. Like it's already so saturated. Like I was going to bring up that this California is such a football saturated fuck. And we're only a couple hours away from Las Vegas from where I'm at. Right?
Yeah.
You got the Chargers, the Rams, the San Francisco 49ers, they used to be in
Raiders.
Oakland even. Now they're in
The
Las Vegas.
Raiders.
The Raiders. What else you got? You got one more. I don't know. But
Yeah,
still,
Rams, Chargers, Raiders, 49ers.
that's enough, honestly. That's enough right there. Like it's just so saturated that, and then you still had Bills fans, but I think that Los Angeles is probably very similar to some of the other warm climate areas. You probably got a lot of people that come from
Like
cold climate.
Florida. You
Yeah.
think of Florida, you got Tampa Bay, Miami, Atlanta's right there. Atlanta's not too far away.
Yeah, but I'm saying you get a lot of snowbirds. You get a lot of people that
Oh,
go to the warmer climate,
yeah.
and so they're rooting for the Bills. Like the guy that was rooting for the Bills was probably originally, well, I don't know, he was a black dude. Buffalo's I guess they got black dudes up there, obviously,
It's
yeah.
like a snowy climate on west side of New York. Not too
Yeah.
far from Niagara.
No, it's not. No. Yeah, because I was gonna stop off there when I was visiting my buddy Rich out in Vermont.
Did he
So,
look
and that was
like he would have been a member of the Bills Mafia?
no, he
Would have
didn't
dropped
throw anybody through a table or anything. But he was, but well, there was 2 guys, and they both happened to be black. It didn't matter, and it's the bar, so everyone's having fun at football. So I'm not like talking shit. But it was funny because the 2 guys that were watching the game were both the guys that were kind of like yelling at the TV, and then they'd be kind of talking smack back and forth a little bit, like oh look at that, that's not a fucking hole, and the other guy would be like, yeah, good flag, good flag, and I'm
Nice.
sitting there at the bar like. know, like watching like, ooh, this is,
You're eating popcorn.
yeah, I'm like, that's exactly what I was doing. I love, honestly, dude, I don't watch that much TV at home. Like the TV's on here because I'm in the hotel room and it's just background, it's
What
just something on.
what'd you tell me earlier? The place that you're staying at, your friend's house, what he told you about it?
Yeah, so I'm in this town called Victorville, and it's a little ghetto-y, you know. Uh, it like there's pretty much anything that can be tagged is, it's very much like but it's not super ghetto-y. It's like when you start driving, it's like it's kinda between Gary and Maryville, you know what I mean? When you start getting into, like, Calumet over there, and you're like, it's getting a little rough, but not so rough that I can't continue driving," you know what I mean? Like, you're not, and even and all of us in the region, we still drive to Gary, you just, kinda keep your wits about you, you know? I mean, if you're from the region, that's kind of the thing, man, like, I go and see
What
steel and cement plants. They don't put those things in good fucking areas, so I'm kinda used to it. And I'm not a douchebag, so I walk in like I got here the first night, right? And I walked into the bar across the street, and first of all, they had a big fucking sign on there that said, like, no colors, like, gang colors, no flat-billed hats after 8 p.m., which I didn't know was a thing. I was wearing a flat hat, and I'm sitting there going, "Me?" And the guy, like, the cop's like, "No, not you, white boy. Come on in." And not you, 40-year-old father. Come inside. You're okay. We're not too worried about you. But they did, they patted me down and I sat in and it was all Mexicans.
did they
And
give you the old TSA pat down, the two-finger
yeah,
pat
they
down?
did. Yeah, no, not 2 fingers. No, I had to pay extra for that. But, The and it was like, it was like I was in Monterey, like, there was a guy, because I without going into the company I work for, I work with primarily Spanish speaking people, right? And it was like I was in Mexico. Like, the music was all in Spanish. Thought I heard somebody outside my door. That would be funny, wouldn't it? Actually, it wouldn't be funny, that would suck. But But I walked in and they, yeah, they're kinda like, use this guy." Like, "Do, do, 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 do," and like, "1 meal, please," and I'm looking around, I'm listening to the thing, and I'm drinking my beer, and I'm just hanging. And the one guy next to me, he's like, "Oh, hey." He goes, "Where are you from?" I go, Chicago." It's easier to say Chicago than Northwest Indiana. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
And, he's like, "Oh, okay." And he goes, "You're not a cop, are you?" I go, "No. No, I'm not a cop." He's like, "Okay, cool, man. Well, hey, welcome to the neighborhood." And that was it. It was cool. Like, I had a couple of beers and I went back to my hotel because I'd just gotten done flying, like, all day, and I was like, "I'm going to have a beer, at least a beer or 2 before I go to bed." And so, yeah, it was, but so again, that's my point is, though,
Yeah,
you
but
know
I was getting at, what did he call that town?
oh, yes, yes, sorry, I talked to. So the name of the town is Victorville, and my buddy Brian is up in the mountains between Victorville because this is basically the Mojave Desert where I'm at. Like, I'm in the desert, and he goes, "Oh, you're down in Victimville." And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's what everybody calls Victorville because when you go there, you end up becoming a victim." And I'm like, "Duly noted. I'll maybe I will get my hotel here next time." But I don't know. I might. This doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah.
I would prefer to, of course, I had to fly and I'm in California, so I don't have my gun, which I traditionally do. I like being armed. I think I should be allowed to be. It's my Second Amendment right. But it is what it is. For the most part, even in the rougher areas, as long as you don't make yourself out to be weak and to be like, to be a victim, you
Don't
typically
make
not.
yourself out to be an easy target.
Yes, and it
Bas
does help that I'm not a little guy. Somebody's watching this going, "Yeah, we know, fat ass." But no, like, I go to the gym.
I
I'm
think
built.
we learned that earlier when you talked about boning one of your bosses.
So
Allegedly,
alle
allegedly.
allegedly. And so and I'm also,
You
it
can
helps
edit that out if you
if
want.
I'm all sleeved out. Now I don't give a shit. What do I care? I already got fucking fired. What are they gonna do? I didn't say the name of the company. Fuck them. Fuck them. Anyways, sports. Sports. We got way off topic here.
All right, IU Miami. Let's just. I think for college we just do a prediction.
IU.
IU. I'm taking IU. I hope the Hoosiers pack that stadium.
So do I.
And actually, a friend of mine's down in Florida. She was trying to fly back, and her daughter stopped by today, and she said flight delayed. The flight got delayed 2 or 3 times because there's so many people flying in for the game. So hopefully they're
Yeah.
flying in from Indiana. We'll see.
Good.
All
Good.
right, let's go to the NFL. Now, there's already 2 games played.
Yep, we just
Uh,
talked about the Bills and Broncos a little bit. Oh, but that's what we were saying though. That's when got off topic. See,
yeah,
came back full circle. So the first flag, again, shouldn't have been pass interference. Should have just been roughing the passer. Second flag was bullshit.
yeah.
Second flag was nothing. There was
And
no.
if I remember, the third flag was what was it, taunting or something like that? I
No,
got
dude. He was yelling at the ref and ripped his helmet off on the fucking field. You can't do that, man. Come
because
on,
he
like.
was pissed. Was it because he
Yeah.
was pissed off about the second flag?
Yes, and so congratulations, you just gave your team, or the other team another 15 yards, well,
Yeah,
half to the goal.
it's like in basketball when you get a technical foul. That's all that was. And I
Technical
honestly,
foul.
I think 15 yards is, I don't know. Some of these penalties I think are a bit harsh. 15 yards is a lot.
I think I've heard people say that they think that, and I actually agree with them. For the pass interference, I don't think they should. I think pass interference is one penalty that should not be a spot foul penalty.
Oh,
I think you can make it 15 yards. I'm okay with that for pass
when
interference.
you make it a spot foul. That's why they're bombing these balls into the end zone. They're not trying to catch them.
No,
I mean, yeah,
they're
some of them
trying to
are.
get tied up with the fucking DB.
Yep.
That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And some of these guys are pretty good at it.
Oh yeah.
So I think it should be 15 yards, or if it's less than 15 yards, spot of the ball. Because you're allowed to, what's it, after 5 yards, you're not allowed to fucking touch anyways. So if it's between 5 and 15, then okay, spot of the ball. But if it's past 15, no, we stop at 15 yards.
Why don't we just make it 10 yards? Every
That's fine.
every
Do that
every
too.
play, like a holding call is 10 yards. 10 yards in
No,
reverse.
yeah, but I think that 15 is, and so like, and it's kind of the same thing with like, I don't know. I still think 15 more than 10 because it is a significant, like if he would have caught that, well shit, he could have flipped the field, right?
Yeah.
So it is a
Well, we
big.
could do 15 then.
I think 15's fine. I think 15's okay for that. And I think that's what college does, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
Um,
I don't know.
but I do think, again, I think that uh, it's it's not going to happen because
No.
the NFL wants offense. That's what they want. They don't want to make it any easier. The same way like I was watching the
That's why that would be
the
my
Knicks.
argument for 10 yards to create offense. I mean, you're not going to go out and try to get a pass interference call over and over again if that's all you're getting is 10 yards.
That's true, I guess. That's true.
All right, let's stop
Anyways,
talking about the rules. Broncos, they took down the Bills in overtime with all the flags and all that bullshit. But it came at a price, man. Bo Nix out for the
well,
remainder of the
yeah.
season with a broken ankle. Quarterback Bo
And
Nix.
all of the Denver Broncos fans, broken hearts.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I didn't even
Shattered,
like that. I didn't even.
broken hearts and shattered dreams. Because I
Ooh.
mean, and I'm not knocking the Broncos.
Well,
I don't
wait.
I don't know who the backup is, you do, but even
Really,
I
I
hear,
have the Wikipedia article.
I don't, but even if he is good, he hasn't played since preseason. Uh, it's and who are they gonna end up going against? They're gonna go up against either the Patriots or the Texans. The Texans are their defense is
Their
stout.
defense is stout, but their offense has looked so shitty lately.
Yeah, but
Like,
when your backup quarterback's first game is against 2 of the best defensive ends in the league, with Will Anderson.
that is true, but I don't but we'll get to that. Hold on,
Look
because
at
so
that.
Jarrett Stidham is the gentleman. Um, he was a Auburn Tigers quarterback, went to the Baylor Bears after that. uh, transfer portal, and Stidham was selected by the New England Patriots in the fourth round of the 2019 NFL Draft, where he spent his first 3 seasons as a backup and played 1 season for the Las Vegas Raiders. He joined the Broncos in 2023. Um, his what do you say about that? He's got an 8-8 touchdown to interception ratio.
There's See, I'm not saying he's good, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he
Well,
has
he's
not.
he's he's 1-3 in 4 career games as a starter.
He's, he hasn't started a game since preseason. And did he even start a game in preseason? Who knows? That's,
I
they have a real and again, Patriots or Texans. And if it happens to be the Texans, which I got a feeling the Patriots are gonna win that game, but
So
if
do
the
I.
Texans win, that defensive line is gonna eat that guy alive.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough. Alright, so, well, good luck to Broncos, broken hearts and
I'm
shattered dreams, but
I'm rooting for 'em. I was rooting for the Broncos over the Bills just because, and I know you're rooting for the Bills, and I like the Bills. I like Josh Allen, I do. But man, this season was tough. Like, I didn't feel like they earned it this season.
yeah.
They've had better seasons in the past. They've had better seasons for sure. And this season, man, it was
This
lackluster.
this could have been their season, though, when you look back at who's taken them out, um, Kansas City Chiefs, they fell
Yeah.
flat on their face. So, either way, it doesn't matter, 'cause, the Bears are still in it.
Well, the problem with the Bills this season too is that they also, they lost a lot of key pieces that they didn't really fill, and they really put it all on Josh Allen's shoulders, and it just became too much at the end. I mean, the story of Josh Allen's career is going to be the same story as like Tony Romo. Tony Romo was always a bridesmaid, never a bride. He
Well,
he.
speaking of Josh Allen, I was watching the game, I said to my daughter, I go it was right after Josh Allen, scrambled, ran, got 10 yards or whatever. I was like, "You gotta stop doing that. You might win the game, but you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get injured." And then, we left, went to Best Buy. That's where the Best Buy story came from. It was show prep at Best Buy, and, opened up I might have been talking to you, opened up Facebook, and Bo Nix injured, broken ankle. I was like, "What
Yeah.
the hell?" I showed it
He's
to my daughter. I go, "We were just talking about this with
Yep.
the other quarterback, and this is what
Yep.
happened to this guy." It's
He's such a smaller, frailer guy though too. Like Josh Allen runs, and he's very similar to when he scrambles to like oh god, it's like, he's a big fucking guy. He scrambles way better than Ben Roethlisberger, but you get the
same
comparison. Like,
style though. Yeah.
yeah, the same. Just he's gonna get it, and he's gonna bulldoze you. He's gonna run like a fullback. He's
Yep.
not. He's Bo Nix is running more like a scat back. He's a little He's a frailer guy. It's the same thing, and I said it on the first year that Jaden Daniels. I remember talking to my girlfriend's dad, and it was that year that Jaden Daniels was, and the Redskins. I will never fucking call them the Commanders. The Redskins were kicking ass, that season. They had a really good, I'm gonna say freshman. But that's not, rookie season with Jaden Daniels, and I was like, I like the kid, but it's ironic that he's here with the Redskins because he is going to end up exactly like Robert Griffin III. And I remember my girlfriend's dad kind of being like, I don't know. We were having a friendly conversation. And I'm like, just watch. I'm like, he's gonna get fucking hurt. He's a little guy, just like Roger Griffin III was.
Yep.
He went and he would scramble and he'd take unnecessary hits. Um, and lo and behold, this his second year, he missed a good chunk of the beginning, played for a little bit, and then got hurt again at the end. And
Yep.
I don't, unless he really changes something, that's not going to happen. So, you know,
All right. So on the NFC side, we had the Seahawks and the 49ers, and that was an embarrassment for the 49ers, if you ask me.
yeah,
Would they score 6? I think it was 6. That was that was a
yeah.
rough game. I really don't even have much to say about it other than 41-6. Yeah, 41 to
Oof.
6. Seahawks taking out the 49ers. I did hear before the game that the Seahawks quarterback, Sam Darnold, he has some type of injury going on too. And I was watching one of the pregame shows, and I don't remember exactly what they said. Some injury, and they're like, "Oh no, you do not want to announce that before a game because the defensive
Mm,
line's going to go after him." Which,
I,
yeah,
I
makes
got it
sense.
right here. It's because he's a ginger.
Oh
No,
man,
oblique.
he's a day walker.
He's a daywalker. Oh, I got it right here. He's a ginger. No, it was an oblique injury.
Oblique injury. There you go.
Yes.
But yeah, Seahawks destroyed the 49ers, which really surprised me. Honestly, I was hoping for a Bears victory over the Rams. They play tomorrow night. And I was hoping for a Bears to get redemption on the 49ers. And now they have to face no, well, if the Bears win, they have to face the Seahawks. And that's a fucking tough task. Tough
I
task.
think I think the way it looks right now,
Gonna be Seahawks Patriots.
probably
That's my guess. Seahawks
probably it's
Patriots in
gonna
the
be
Super
Seahawks
Bowl.
Patriots. It's gonna be what year was that they played each other?
Seahawks
Uh
Patriots.
2008.
It was I do
Somewhere.
remember was
Is
it
that right? Is it 2008? Am I
it
that
might have
good?
been. It's
Um
probably like '06 or something. Did the
fuck,
Seahawks win that
fuck.
year? Was that an interception in the
Patriots.
end zone?
Seahawks. This is so unprofessional. We're googling it. We're 2014.
Wow, closer.
Yeah. The
Seahawks won though,
Patriots.
right?
No, in New England. The
What year
Patriots.
did
Malcolm Butler intercepting the pass in the end zone. Remember they were supposed to run it with Marshawn. That's right.
Oh, I remembered it was some and
Just a
it was
second.
a goofy interception too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, well,
And I was gonna say earlier as well about the San Francisco game is that San Francisco just got that ass tore up, and that's not unironic. So, anyways, though the Bears, I'm rooting for the Bears. I hope that the cardiac Bears pull out a victory. I really do. Man,
Bears Rams,
feel
but
like
here's a
The Rams are they're pretty good, man.
yeah, but here's a I don't know if it's true or not. You might have to Google this while I say it, but God, what the hell's his name? Their quarterback. Why can't I remember?
Matthew Stafford,
Matt Stafford. Okay, Matt Stafford, longtime Detroit Lion.
right?
I heard today that he has never won a game when the temperature is below 20 degrees. And I think tomorrow they said, what, 18? I think it was 18 degrees. Let me pull up the Weather Channel here and take a look. We'll just go daily. They're saying tomorrow, oh, yeah,
Is accurate.
19
AI
degrees.
overview says the temperature was at least 20 degrees or colder at kickoff, and he's never played in such conditions until a specific playoff game where the temperature was near freezing, and he did win. But the legend stems from his time with the Lions.
So it's
But
from
then
the
that is a
Lions.
true. But AI overview says the statement's true.
Well, tomorrow supposed to be 19 degrees. Wind chill dropping it down to 5, 24% chance of snow.
You know what we
And
call
you have,
that? We call that bear weather.
yeah, that's bear weather. And well, that's your midday. So hell, let me look at hourly because it's a night game tomorrow. But you're
Yeah.
out there in Los Angeles, so he's used to playing in Los Angeles. He's used to playing
Yeah.
inside a dome. What's the temperature out there today?
It was in the mid-70s.
Mid 70s? Oh, 18 degrees at kickoff. Ooh, 18 degrees at kickoff at between 5 and 6. We're looking at 24 to 44% precipitation. Snow.
Oof. Oh,
So
man, it's supposed to be 65 tomorrow. Ugh, bullshit.
I think weather is going to play in the favor of the Bears, but I don't know. Rams are tough, man. They're a
Rams
tough
are a
team.
tough team, man. Although, if the Seahawks are playing at the caliber that they played tonight, man, they look good, and I hate to say that because I really don't like the Seahawks, and I'm really not that impressed with Sam Darnold. I never have been. I've
Neither am
never
I.
thought that he was that good, and then the fact that DeMarcus Lawrence walks away from the fucking Cowboys and gets a goddamn Super Bowl the first year just pisses me the fuck off. Because you know what? He wasn't that good for us. He had a
Yeah.
couple of good years here and there, but, you motherfucker. You're gonna just like DeMarcus Ware. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna fucking do just enough, and then you're gonna go to a team and win a Super Bowl and just fucking retire. You cocksucker. Like,
And we are almost 47 minutes in already.
got a
We're
long
not
show
even
today.
through sport. We need to get through this. Bears Rams. What's your prediction? Who's your pick?
Rams.
I'm going Bears. I have
Okay.
to. Yeah.
Okay.
Patriots
I'm
Texans.
rooting for the Bears. Patriots.
Patriot. I'm gonna go Patriots too. I think the Texans defense is awesome, but I don't think they can beat the Patriots. I think Patriots are gonna take that.
I think the
All right.
Patriots are gonna win a fucking Super Bowl this year.
Oh yeah. All right, let's move on to let's talk about the coaching carousel.
Cool.
There's been not just well, here I'll go through it. Brian DeBall, the Giants coach, he was fired mid-season. Brian Callahan from the Titans fired mid-season. John Gannon from Cardinals, Raheem Morris from the Falcons, Kevin Stefanski from the Browns, Pete Carroll from the Raiders, Mike McDaniel from the Dolphins. They were all fired after the season and season ended. John Harbaugh from the Ravens, they say he was let go, but then when you watch, he was fired. I
Yeah.
watched that interview. They're like, "Oh, what would have happened if he would have won? If the Ravens would have won?" Well, he would have worked for us for another week. That goes back to shitty bosses.
Yep.
John Harbaugh is a fucking excellent coach. Obviously, the owner of the Ravens is a piece of shit. Okay, Mike Tomlin from the Steelers. He was resigned after 19 years. Now, was
Yeah.
that a forced resignation? I don't know.
I
I
get the
think he's
feeling that that's not.
I don't think it was a forced when you watch Tomlin and you watch his interviews and stuff and the new kids coming into play, I think he's just fed up. I think he's fed up and he's tired. And he's been
Yeah.
doing it for 19 years.
Mhm.
Anyways, Kevin Stefanski of the Browns. He was hired by the Falcons.
Falcons.
That was announced a little bit ago. But the big one that is going to shove it right in Travis's asshole for the next 5 years, John
Stick with it.
Harbaugh with a 5-year. I didn't say how much it was. Sounded like it was over $100 million.
Probably.
5 years to the New York Giants.
Love it.
Look at
Fantastic.
that. It's when Scadaboo comes back, you got yourself a running back, you got yourself a quarterback. The center, the offensive line, he's got ties to Hebron, Indiana. I actually have a
Really?
New York Giants helmet that's signed by him.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's in my room.
That's cool.
One of the I don't want to name names, but I think his cousin played on the softball team, and he would
Oh,
come to the softball games and watch. Oh, Minnesota. Is it Gophers? I think he was a Gopher. He got drafted by New York. He's
That's impressive to play that position, especially as a small rodent. I'm in
he's a pretty decent player though. I think he's doing a good job. But that's your coaching carousel, and I don't think it's
Yeah,
over. I
no,
Some of these head coaches that got fired, I don't. Well, Pete Carroll,
I think he
that blows.
retires. I think he retires. I
Well,
think
they
he's done.
yeah, I think he's done.
Yeah.
He's
He's
80
not
years
going
old.
anywhere else.
Tomlin, if I think Tomlin might take I could see him being an announcer. I don't see. I think he's done coaching.
I think he's done coaching unless the just perfect fucking job pops up, right? I think he's done coaching unless somebody gets real close to a Super Bowl and or somebody's looking for like a coordinator and he's
You know,
okay hopping on as a fucking coordinator or a general manager. That's even
you,
fucking better. I could see
you
him being a
know
general manager.
where I could see Tomlin going, and I think he'd do a great job. The Cowboys.
Ooh, does he have any ties?
Well, I don't think Tomlin's coming back next year. I could see him taking a year off and then possibly coming back.
Yeah, but they Schottenheimer didn't do a bad job.
Yeah, right. But
You know, Schottenheimer didn't do a bad job. We do need a defensive coordinator. You think he'd be a defensive coordinator? Ooh, you know what we need? We need a new general manager.
yeah.
I wouldn't
All
fucking
right.
hate that.
So, yeah, coaching carousel getting interesting by the day. I
Yep.
don't.
Yep.
The teams that
John
are
Harbaugh,
remaining.
welcome to the fucking NFC East. Now the Cowboys can be in third place in their division instead of second.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. This is interesting. Well, to me, it's interesting. I think it puts a lot of pressure on Illinois. Senate Bill 27. Oh, Indiana Senate Bill 27's introduced, which would set up a new Northwest Indiana Stadium Authority with powers to acquire land for a possible NFL stadium site in Northwest Indiana in the region,
The region.
finance stadium construction and related facilities, often through issuing bonds, which of course, and other financial tools. It's going to be bonds. Then they'll lease the stadium and property to a private franchise, such as the Chicago Bears. So, while they're beating around the bush on, this is like a blanket approval for any NFL team, they're actively seeking out the Chicago Bears. Um,
I
Possibly under
still
a
don't.
long-term lease agreement up to 35 years. So, potentially allow the Bears to own the stadium later. For example, after the stadium bonds are repaid, provides a financial framework. Provide a financial framework distinct from Illinois, current offers and creative incentive structures to make Indiana an appealing alternative. Now, here's one. Here's some more. There's a lot of this, actually. It's not a very, very long bill, but part of the plan involves structuring revenue and tax treatment in ways favorable to the team. For example, the team paying little to no taxes on the stadium site while the bonds are repaid. So, what are your bonds? I mean, a 20 to 35-year lease. So, I'd imagine your bonds are going to be 20 to 35 years, depending on how they finance it. And they're going to offer tax free or low taxes on that. I did see something where I don't remember who said it. It might have been Braun, not sure. Possible no property taxes on the stadium until I heard one, the till the life of the loan, and I also heard the life of the stadium. So the life of the loan would be 20 to 35 years, depending on what it is. Life of the stadium, 50 maybe. Oh, okay. Tax-free or low-tax treatment on stadium property. Some reporting suggests that under the proposed Indiana plan, the Bears would pay minimal or no property taxes on the stadium while under lease. and could gain ownership for a nominal amount once the tax-funded bonds are repaid. In that sense, it's a long-term tax advantage. Local tax credits, opportunity zone incentives. The city of Gary's pitch mentions Indiana headquarters relocation tax credit and designating stadium sites as opportunity zones,
Well, see,
which could
Gary's got it. Gary's got a one up because they'll level the whole fucking city to put this thing in. They don't give a shit.
well,
You know how
they've
many
they've already got three
properties they have?
areas. Da, 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 da. Okay, designated stadium sites as opportunity zones, which could mean refundable tax credits and potential elimination of capital gains taxes on qualifying investments. Again, incentives that reduce tax burdens indirectly. So, what else I got here? Okay,
Uh,
so if you notice, though, all these I mean, yes, the state would be taking bonds, and the state did say that they would build whatever the Bears wanted. And then the Bears could lease it basically till the bonds are paid off, and then they could take ownership of it. Now, that is the portion of tax dollars that would be basically fronted by us, the taxpayers, up front. But I think no property taxes, that's not taking money out of our pockets. That's just not them collecting money. Now, according to Governor Pritzker, over in Illinois, this is how he is a genius. He opposes using taxpayer money to build or subsidize a stadium, which, okay, I don't have a problem with that at all. Um, and for tax relief, he suggests the Bears work with local government on any tax relief. When asked about tax incentives, Pritzker pointed out that if the Bears want tax relief, they need to negotiate with local governments and not rely on Springfield for state tax breaks. I kind of like how he separates that. And I really like how he separates that because maybe that should work in reverse also. Maybe the
yep.
Democrats should not rely on Chicago to provide
Right.
them with money or
Yeah, it
vote.
is it is it is ironic that he's saying this, but I think too, there is something to, kind of almost being forced to, and he has the history. Yes, the Bears bring a lot to, they bring a lot of people, they bring a lot of jobs. It's a giant stadium, it's an NFL team, that boosts up your local economy. We know all the positives. The libertarian in me kind of agrees with him. Like, you shouldn't really be using taxpayer dollars when this is a multi-billion-dollar fucking company, and this is kind of everything that we kind of rally against. I don't think this is going to happen anyways. I think there's playing a big game of chicken. I think that the Chicago Bears don't really want to go to Northwest Indiana. There's a little bit of
Yeah,
you
I don't.
know,
I don't think they really want to. They want to. They want to remain in Chicago or at least a Chicago suburb.
Chi- yes.
But I think when this bill was introduced, it was kind of like, hey, we're serious. I mean, this could mean billions of dollars in savings for them, and that's
Well, they're
the, the
they're 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 playing chess. I mean, Indiana and Illinois has always had a fucking back and forth, relationship in that sense. And so they're playing chess with the Chicago Bears, and Indiana just moved their fucking rook up and said check, right? So now Illinois has got to sacrifice a piece or move their fucking king. Um, you know,
yeah,
that's
it's definitely not done yet. But I think if you want to put it as a chess game, Indiana's moving their queen around right now,
yeah,
and
yeah, that's why I said we just moved our rook up and put him in check. So we'll see what happens. I'm not holding my breath. I don't think.
There has been 3, property proposals by Gary, and, Hammond Mayor is also talking. Um,
Sure he
Gary
is.
Gary mentioned Buffington Harbor, which was, That was home of what, Majestic Star Casino, which is no longer there. It's right on basically the west side of US Steel, between US Steel and Inland Steel or Cleveland Cliffs. Um,
Well, and here's the other thing too, real quick, is, you know, it sounds, especially if you're a Bears fan in Northwest Indiana. I'm not a Bears fan. I not really,
well,
like
I'm a
I
Bears
like to
fan.
see the
I
local
would
team go good. But
me
would you be
personally
really going to any more of these fucking games?
no, me personally, I'd rather they go to Arlington Heights.
Yeah, the traffic already is so fucking bad around here, dude.
Yep. Well,
Like, you think that this
the
is gonna help?
proposed areas, so you got, Buffington Harbor off Klein Avenue. You've got, Miller Beach, the east side of Gary, right up on the lake. I don't know where at in Miller Beach. Um,
They're gonna go and
I
fucking bulldoze Flamingo's Pizza?
I guess. Shit. Uh, unless it's, hell, it could be south of Miller Beach, but on the south side of Miller Beach off of 20, there's some swampland over there, I guess. And then there's another one, I can't remember what they labeled it, but it was west side off of, 8094 over by
Well
Burr
well
Street and
well,
Klein.
think about this too, during the so they put the Chicago Bears stadium over there. Now, where's the training facilities? You gotta have training facilities real close. Are they going to have their training facilities in Gary and Hammond? Are you gonna have these fucking NFL fucking players wanting to hang out in Gary and fucking Hammond?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, where's Hollis Hall at? That's up on the north side, right? It's not even in Chicago, it's in a suburb.
Yeah,
That's your training facilities and that's your office. That's the office.
right,
I and you also have to, they already purchased, Arlington Heights. But we'll see. I'd prefer it to be stay in or build in Arlington Heights, not stay in
right.
Chicago, build in Arlington Heights. And, maybe Indiana will put enough pressure on them that Pritzker will offer something up a little more.
I think
Uh,
that's all they're doing. They're like I
yes.
said, they're just kinda playing chicken. They're seeing what their options are. I still stand by our original assessment that where this is never gonna happen. I'm not really, getting excited about this. I get what the state of Indiana's doing. I don't disagree with it. Um, I don't disagree with it in theory. It's political fucking, back and forth.
Political political theater, like
It
fuck
is political
everything.
theater, but and again, that's I can appreciate it for what it is, but I still then look at it and go, when the fat fuck Democrat of Illinois is sounding more conservative than all of the Republicans over here, you know,
Yeah, that's true. Alright, well,
not
let's
not
move
not that
on.
not that he believes that. I mean, that's the other side of it. He doesn't
Yeah.
actually believe any of that shit. He's just saying it to
Maybe he does realize the game that's being played.
Well, I think he
Maybe.
realizes the game that's being played, and I think too, I think that he understands, and I think there's something to be said too about him kind of going, "Hey, we're not financially super well off, and the Chicago Bears make a lot of money, and we could benefit more from that."
Yep.
You know,
Alright, let's move on from football, but, since we're on the football topic and, let's face it, football is entertainment.
it is
I wanna talk about and this is really quick and not a political discussion. I just wanna list some concerts that's going on because, this concert season this year is
right.
ridiculous. That I you go to the smaller venues, you like, standing
Yeah,
up and getting in the mosh pit and crowd
I
surfing,
do.
all that shit. I'm getting old and I I'm an old man now. I like to just sit on my ass and just watch them, maybe drink a couple beers. So this is the list for Credit Union One Amphitheater in Tinley Park. If you want tickets there, you got lawn seats, or you can go to sweethop.com. This is just, they don't pay us for anything. That's where I get my tickets. Go to sweethop.com. Search up Credit Union One Amphitheater, and then you can get the suites over top. They're pretty nice. But this isn't all the bands that are playing. This is just a short list of what's already announced, and it's the type of music we listen to, basically. July 8th, you have Evanescence with Spirit Box. Evanescence has been around for fucking ever.
I saw
Spirit Box,
Evanescence in high school with my high school girlfriend.
yeah. Spirit Box is interesting band. They sound really good. July 18th and 19th, 2-day concert, Summer of '99 and Beyond Festival
Yeah, that looks fun.
with Limp Bizkit, Cypress Hill, Creed, and Bush. And there's, I don't know how many more bands there were, but I was like, that does look fun. July 29th, Guns N' Roses. July 30th, and Guns N' Roses, if you're a Guns N' Roses fan, hey, whatever. But if you watch his videos of him singing now, it's pretty funny. It's
Yeah, it's rough, but it's
it's
it's a classic, you know, you still
they're still iconic, you know.
right, right.
July 30th, Avenged Sevenfold and Good Charlotte. I think you said you saw Good Charlotte last year, maybe something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. At the on the Live Golf thing, and that's a weird combination of bands too.
That is weird.
Um,
I God,
the Avenged Sevenfold fans are not gonna like the Good Charlotte fans.
no. It's like the heavy metal meets the skateboard kids. You know, the skateboarders.
Yeah. I mean, Avenged Sevenfold, I don't know if I'd quite put them in heavy metal, but they're definitely heavy adjacent. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, they're heavier.
They're
Uh,
heavier than Good
they're
Charlotte.
like I think like metalcore, you know,
You I would
um,
yeah, I would say, yeah, probably what do they call it? New core. They'd be more of a new core
yeah,
metal.
something like that, screamo-ish,
But
maybe, and
Good Charlotte
post-hardcore,
Good Charlotte's more like Blink 182 type shit.
pop punk. It's just straight pop punk. Um,
August
that's okay.
19th,
I like pop.
August 19th, Five Finger Death Punch with Cody Jinks and Eva Under Fire, or Eva Under Fire, who the fuck it is. August 22nd, Motley Crue. Oh, here's one I want to go see. And everybody says I'm a freak for it. But September 5th, Rob Zombie, haven't seen him for 20 years. And Marilyn Manson. If you've ever seen Marilyn Manson puts on a hell of a show.
He does. I haven't seen either of them actually, so I might go to that.
Last
That
time
might be
I seen Rob Zombie, it was at an Ozfest. I don't know, maybe '02, '03. I went to a bunch of them. And do you remember that movie, House of a Thousand Corpses?
mhm.
You remember the blonde chick that was
Yeah. Yeah, his wife. That's his
that's his
wife.
wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's dancing around on stage like butt ass naked, but that was 20 some years ago. At September
He still
22nd,
looks good.
I have no idea. He looks like fucking death.
He always has.
September 22nd, Iron Maiden and Megadeth.
I've seen Megadeth.
I have not seen Megadeth, but yeah, and there's more kind of Leonard Skinner's in the mix in there somewhere. There's a couple country bands, couple rap artists, and it was a pretty big concert season this year.
Hell yeah, dude.
Just wanted to name that. Now let's go back to politics. What the hell?
Back to
You
politics. So there
you
was a
wanted to
couple
talk
of quick
about
things.
hold on,
What's
hold
that?
on. You wanted to talk something about Todd Young?
Ah, dude, you know what? I see this is what happens when you start giving these motherfuckers any sort of like congratulations. Like we congratulated him on the last show and we said, "Hey, you know what? Good job. You went ahead and you voted to limit the war powers of the president and said, "Hey, we're going to pass this War Powers Act with Venezuela so that you know and whatever you feel about it, you know, however you feel about whether or not we should do it, whether it's a good thing, bad thing, the fact is that has been a power that was supposed to be in the legislative branch and the executive branch, just and both presidents are both Democrats and Republicans. This isn't a party affiliated thing, just gripped the power back to them, gripped as much power as they can. So like a fool last week, said, "Congratulations, Todd Young, a Hoosier, region boy, blah, blah, blah." And then he went and pussied the fuck out like a little bitch and fucking voted to give it right the fuck back, voted against it. So, and then some of the other votes, we'll see here. Rand Paul tweeted, the Senate just passed a bloated $176.4 billion minibus spending bill by a vote of 82-15. 46 Republicans joined Democrats after promising voters they'd rein in Washington's reckless spending. See if your senators voted. And let's see here. Oh, right there. Fucking right there. Number one, Jim Banks. I mean, ugh. Like, what are you doing then? Like, what are you fucking there for? Why? Why do you're just happy fucking doing it? You're just such a fucking party tool. All fucking 46 of these motherfuckers on here. Just party fucking pussies. Like, what a bunch of fucking bitches. That's how I fucking feel about it. Every single one of these. Why? What? You're just gonna keep spending the money that we don't have. You're just fine with it?
Print more.
You should believe a single one of these motherfuckers when they go out on the campaign trail. Another one, the Republican majority, this one's from Wall Street Mav, if you follow him on X. Oh, sorry, my sinuses are killing me. The Republican majority backstabbed their voters for the second time tonight. 81 Republicans voted with Democrats to keep funding the National Endowment for Democracy, a left-wing NGO slush fund that works with the Biden administration to censor Americans on the right. Elon's Doge efforts specifically targeted this organization for defunding, and some of the same Republicans who cheered it on for the cameras voted with Democrats to stop it. There you go. There you go. So here's the fucking reality. And for any of you motherfuckers that are on here that are still fucking, you guys just, it's 5D chess, man. It's 5D chess. You just gotta trust the fucking process, man. Don't get black pilled. Don't be a hater. Oh, it's all good, bro. The Republicans are gonna fucking do it. No, they're fucking not. They are shitting down your throat and telling you to say thank you. Shut the fuck up. If you are still fucking supporting these cocksuckers, shut up. This is amazing to me. Amazing to me that you would still show up and vote for these motherfuckers. So there you go. There's my fucking mini rant. I hope it fucking becomes a magic clip. I hope we get 6,000 goddamn fucking views of people going, "Oh, here's 5D chess. We had to fucking take out Venezuela because of the drugs. Oh, but we left the lady in charge that it came out today, actually. I didn't even touch base with you on this one, Keith. I forgot about this one. It came out today that they're in the what's like the general news fucking source? And
NPR.
That's not NPR though. It's there's a different. It might not be. It doesn't matter. So the general Associated Press. That was what I was thinking of. The Associated Press released a story today that said that they were able to find that the FBI had documents, and it's FBI, CIA, one of them, I don't remember, doesn't fucking matter, had documents that supported the fact that the secondary person in charge actually was somewhat involved in the fucking drug industry. So the whole reason they started to bomb boats and said they had to take the president of Venezuela and then left the other person in charge as long as we can set it up so we get some of the fucking oil. But we're going to leave them in charge anyways, even though they had ties to drugs. It sure seems to me like you just don't want to talk about the fucking Epstein files. That's what it sounds like.
It's kind of interesting. Venezuela, one of the key points on Trump when it came to Venezuela was they had to cut ties to China. Right? China had to cut ties to China.
This is a good segue for the China shit that you had.
As they're cutting ties to China, there's a new deal between Canada and China, It's a tariff reductions. Canada agreed to significantly reduce its 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles. They cut their 100% tariff to 6.1%, from 100 to 6.1. Now they're only allowing 49,000 electric vehicles into Canada each year, but you eliminated 100% tariff down to 6.1. And in return, China is cutting the tariffs on major Canadian agricultural exports, such as canola seed. Canola seed from 84% down to 15%. They're removing anti-discrimination tariffs on products like canola meal, lobsters, crabs, and peas. So the tariffs are getting cut on food that's going from Canada to China, and the electric vehicles coming from China to to Canada, the tariffs got cut drastically on there. Now the electric vehicles are. It seems like the U.S. is not worried about the electric vehicles coming from China to Canada at this point, supposedly. But I think electric vehicles going to Canada. I mean, if you look at vehicles now, a lot of the used vehicle market come from Canada. You can buy Canadian vehicles here in the United States. So are you going to be able to buy Chinese electric vehicles? Is this going to be a direct competition with Tesla, Ford, Chevy?
It's gonna
What are,
have to be. It's in our hemisphere.
yeah,
And that
exactly.
and now that's the next question, is with Trump fucking touting the Monroe Doctrine, is he now going to start stopping that? Because it's in our hemisphere. I
Yeah.
almost said atmosphere. I mean, it is that too. But it's that's why it's so much of this shit, this type of stuff, the Greenland stuff, like we're gonna go and invade Greenland. We're
Oh,
gonna fucking pay them money to like, so much of it is just like we said earlier with the bear stuff. It's all political theater. The Greenland stuff, it better be, because if it is, uh, what do you even fucking say to that? What do you
yeah.
say to that? Hey,
I don't, I don't even want to touch on that now because
yeah,
uh,
yeah, because I know
well,
that was one of the things that we had talked about. When we were to give a little bit of behind the curtain stuff, when we talk about stuff for the show, we didn't really want to get too much into the national stuff, really, because there's so much of it happening at one time. Trump apparently now has the fucking Nobel Peace Prize because that fucking dipshit gave it to him. Um, why? Yeah, oh, well, he deserved it. He had the 12-day war. Okay. Well,
it's
and
not even.
so you stopped the bombing after you did the bombing?
Yeah,
What are we You
the
negotiate peace
news
in the Middle East. Because
the,
they're done bombing fucking Hamas, like, because they've leveled Gaza, and here's the thing, it never actually stopped. There's still motherfuckers dying there every single day.
yeah,
You just don't see it as much on TikTok because guess what? They own the fucking algorithm now.
yeah, they bought him.
Yeah,
Who's that bought him?
they
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 use use. Um, well, since I don't want to go into
Yeah, there's no,
nothing to
like we had
say.
said, there's so much fucking going on, and so much of it is so up in the air. It really doesn't fucking matter. Those couple of bills right there, though, just made me sick to my stomach, and especially after we went ahead and said, "Hey, you know what? We need to give a little bit of praise to fucking Jim Banks. He did a good job. He really stood up for Hoosiers." The other thing that while we're on this fucking Hoosiers as well, real quick, revisit the state, is that they're already talking about revisiting the redistricting again. Do you see that?
Again, I did not see that. No.
Yeah. So,
Mm,
fucking politics, dude. It's just so, honestly, if you're still just showing up and voting for these fucking jokers, get the fuck out of here. Turn this off.
yeah.
Because we don't want you. Like, that's the thing, man. Like, I don't if you're still involving yourself at that, I don't know, man.
Or
Uh,
maybe listening
Stick
to us
around. Hey,
would
you
change
should
some minds.
and
Which
do some research, dude. Like, that's the thing that I can fucking say to anybody. You know, and we're not right about everything all the time, but man, we follow pretty close to a lot of this shit, man. Like we have a pretty good idea of what's going on. We keep our fingers on the pulse. We watch a lot, we listen a lot, we read a lot, and then that's where these opinions are formed. You know, me and Keith talk about issues. You know, one of the other things that we were going to touch on briefly was the 10% credit card rate from Trump, and we think that that's probably going to be a good thing. And so once we do a little more research, my gut check is always, well, if you're going to put limits on it, you shouldn't really have the government keep putting limits on the top or the bottom. But at least sometimes there is, and it can be helpful putting limits on it in that sense of like capping stuff. So, I don't know. What's going to be the issues that arise from it? I don't
Yeah,
fucking know. I'm
there's
not an
always
economist. I
there's
just play
always a
on
give and
TV.
take. So
Yeah, so we haven't done enough research on it to go into it too much in depth, and so that's why, we're really not touching on that. So,
yeah.
um,
Well,
yeah, let's go.
let's
You wanna
touch a
you wanna
little bit.
go to local politics? I'm
Yeah.
gonna grab you have set this up.
All right. Well, in local politics, I checked out the election candidates for Porter County offices. Nothing much has changed. District 2 commissioner, still you have Mike Brickner and Cindy Dykes. Going to have a primary for that, and whoever wins that primary will take on Kyle S. Nelson, a Democrat. But for coroner, you have a three-way Republican race and a primary. You have Republican Jeff Beach, Republican Brian Bowles, and Republican Jerame Simpson, all wanting that coroner spot. Now, I don't know how that's going to unfold just yet. There is what I find interesting. There's a county council District 4
Well,
Republican.
real fast, just one quick thing on coroner is I do know the sister of Brian Bowles. Great people. I don't know Brian Bowles particularly, but I know he was the deputy coroner from the stuff that she has shared. And so this is not an endorsement per se, but I do know I at least know he's qualified. I at least know that he comes from good stock. So do your own research, but that's my, again, not an endorsement per se. I actually, now that we're in the race and stuff, we could probably get him on the show. I think he'd probably be happy to come on. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We do say fuck Republicans an awful lot. So I don't know. I'll
Oh,
talk to his sister. We'll find out.
yeah, why not? Okay, county council District 4. It's South County. There's a Republican Craig Kenworthy. I'm surprised there's no Democrat on there yet. Boone Township trustee, Republican Howard O'Connor. He'd be the incumbent. Uh, are you surprised? Are you surprised, Travis, that there has not been anybody throw their name in
I
the hat on the
honestly,
Democrat?
dude, why? There's got to be somebody, anybody. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Just walk down to the local didn't you say that there was like a resurgence in Hebron of kind of like fucking crackheads hanging out outside of gas stations? Just grab one of them. That's good. That's fine. One of those will be just fine. Doesn't matter. Just fucking, they probably vote Democrat anyways. Put them on there. Put them on the fucking ballot. I mean, Jesus. What do you? I don't get it, man. I don't fucking understand. There's got to be something. They're probably all fucking pulling straws behind the scenes to see who just gets to just go in and just fucking own it. You know what I mean? It's got to be. I just realized I'm like sitting here and I'm like talking into it like it's a microphone. You know.
Well,
But yeah, dude, just
so
crash out too much on it. But Jesus, really,
would you
this is what you gotta
consider
fucking do?
would you consider Howard O'Connor a weak candidate?
Nah, I'd say he's lost every race he's ever fucking put onto. We talked about it in the last thing. Whenever he used to get on the ballot, the Republican Party used to go, please, for the love of God, find anybody else that can run against him and win.
Yeah, they used to put us up to it. Find
Yeah,
somebody
so
to beat
I'm more
him.
And now that it's not our fucking job, I mean, who's the fucking people down there? George Topple, I think, is the South County guy. He's not going to do shit about it. Nobody else, because the only time anybody in the fucking Republican Party gave a fuck about Hebron was when you and I made them give a fuck about Hebron and gave them a reason to come out and vote. So now,
Well, that's all, you know, congratulations, Howard. Thank you
well,
for
yeah, we talked
taking,
about that
you
for
know,
one show. Like,
Howard,
yeah, it's so
we've got
funny.
we got 1,000 signs that need to be put out there. Oh yeah, no problem. I'll do it. Yeah.
That's right.
But, I did, every now and then I watch, I get bored and I'll watch, Hebron's, their meetings. And I did see this in the planning commission meeting. Travis, you want to go ahead and drop that clip in there?
Approval, are we? Can I say one thing, Mike? You can. I'm sorry, but listen, for the rest of the members that are on the commission, it is my intention not to fill either one of these positions next year. So I would like for someone else to fill in, and if you guys would want to shadow and come along and learn these positions so that we can have more citizen members, I'd very much appreciate that. Just let me know, contact me if you have interest. And if there is interest and someone can fill that position starting next year, that would be an ideal spot.
But it's, they were reorganizing the planning commission meeting, and the vice president of the planning commission, John Spinks Jr., who's the president of the town council, did announce that he will not be running for he will not be running for those seats next year. By this time, by next year, he will not be on that planning commission board. So he's not going to run as vice president. I think he is also the Porter County he represented Porter County for Hebron, or represented Hebron for Porter County in the planning commission.
Gotcha.
But he did mention that he
Board
is
member or whatever.
Yeah, board. So I'm curious, what are your aspirations? Are you planning a county council District 4 run as a Democrat against Craig Kenworthy? Or are you going to go after the low-hanging fruit and go after Boone Township trustee Howard O'Connor and follow in your father's footsteps? Your father was a Boone Township trustee, and
Yeah. Yes, he
that is
was.
that is low-hanging
We've
fruit. I
we've
think
we've
you'd be able to
told that.
knock
I
that
mean,
out of the park.
yeah, we've told that story about how he helped broker the deal to get me on the town council.
It
And
gets you on the town council and take out Democrat Jeff Grogan on the council,
yeah, in
who
the same breath.
is a
Um,
uh, is a township board member right now, and he is up for reelection. He's running for reelection.
yes, I mean, honestly, I mean, if I were him, I'd go ahead and fucking do it. I mean, I think, you know what I'd like to do? I think we should try to have him on. I
I
think that
think we
he'd
should
be
do. I think we should. Maybe we'll
yeah,
reach out to
and I
John.
think, and again, not us, anybody that knows what we say, that's the whole point of what this is. Like, we want to be fair. It's not a hell, we said the same thing. We'll have Howard on. Fucking come
Yeah,
on, dude. Like, we don't, you know, I had nothing against him personally. It's just, when you become the Mark Leva of Hebron, you know. Like, and if you don't know who Mark Leva is, he continually ran for Congress against Visklosky for every time. But does he still do it? I don't even know.
nah,
Yeah,
doesn't
I
matter.
don't. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's yeah, I'd love to have him on to discuss it. It sounds to me like there's some ambitions there. I think, you know, well, when would the council race? Are they both in the same year?
Yeah, or town council for Hebron.
Yeah.
No,
Either no,
yeah,
not town council, county council.
county council District 4 is going on right now. You have to file to
Okay,
run.
I just wanted to make sure I was on the same page. So, I would if it was me, I would take the low hanging fruit. I would go township. And it's because he knows the township, and again, his father's in. I would think that would be the best case scenario, but again, I'd love to hear.
Yeah, I'd love to hear. I also have another question. I've got another clip. I was watching this one's from the Drainage Board or the Stormwater Management Board. Travis, drop that clip in there for me.
With our public, we work with our public. You're interrupting me again, Well,
you did. I know that Randy was involved with that, and you know what? You did it right. I'm not saying you did. I don't know who said you're bullying people, but I didn't.
Thank you.
I've heard it expressed that way multiple times by multiple people. And, maybe Don and I and you are beyond being bullied, but I think some people can be. And I don't even know if it's deliberate, but you can come across dead wrong sometimes, John.
Fantastic. And
Thank you. Now, what is going on here, John? It's if you go to the town's website, go to townofhebron.com or whatever it is, go to that website, go to the calendar on the website. It'll bring up all the meetings, and there's, go to stormwater management or drainage. I don't remember what it's labeled on there, and watch the last meeting of that, but started at the 50-minute mark. Right around the 50-minute mark, Frank Stahlbaum, I believe he's the president of the Drainage Board. That's all I'm going to call it, Drainage Board. He was on there. I was town council liaison for the Drainage Board 5 or 6 years ago. It's been a while. And now John Spinks Jr. is the liaison of it. And he mentioned, not John Spinks, but Frank Stahlbaum had mentioned that the Drainage Board has talked, and they want John Spinks Jr. and the rest of the council to remove him from the board and replace him with somebody else. I don't know why. I don't exactly know what's going on there, what the tension is, but it was at the 50-minute mark. Watch from the 50-minute mark till the end. It was maybe 16, 17 minutes long, and there's talks of John Spinks being a bully. I've worked with John Spinks on different boards. We were on the Lions Club together and Little League board, and never really looked at him as a bully. It's very difficult to bully me, though. Soft spine is not something that I have. I don't know. Watch those.
Speaking of, I can't wait to have Brandon Williams on. No,
Hey,
I'm gonna see him while I'm out here too, dude.
would you say that I bullied him? Was I a bully?
I'm kidding. No,
No.
but you did knock his ass out, and I remember your brother walking on. I remember he had a broken leg in pre-algebra class.
That was Brandon that had a broken leg?
And remember he had the crutches. Remember you fucking Rob walking on his crutches like
Yeah,
stilts?
upside down. Yeah. We were dying laughing.
Alone. I can't believe they left all of us retards alone in that room.
Well, you can't have your math teacher also be the assistant principal in the dungeon. Okay.
Right,
So
right.
John Spinks, if you're listening, your mother's class, the detention room or whatever, was on one end, and were they across the hall?
It wasn't down the hall. You had to go up and then back down because they had that section like remember it was like storage in between.
But it was basically, it wasn't the same room, but same layout.
Yeah.
And we had the assistant principal as our math teacher, and she handled all of the discipline in high school. I think it was high school. Anytime anything happened, she walked out of the room and she just left us. Here we are. We're learning math. That's why we're all fucking mathematicians. And Brandon Williams had a broken leg, and my brother was using his crutches as like fucking stilts. Well, then I remember there was a desk in the back, like a big wooden desk. We used to sit back there all the time, kick our feet up, and do whatever the hell we wanted. Fun times, but I was I was always a good kid. So I was trying to be a good kid, and I think Brandon, he must have had ADD or some shit. They didn't really label it back then. But that little fucker, he kept running his mouth, running his mouth, running his mouth. And I would tell the assistant principal, we had do me a favor, he just keeps running his mouth about me, and I don't wanna kick his ass. You know, basically do your fucking job. Oh, leave him alone, Keith. Leave him alone. Don't hurt him. Well, I'm not going to, but you know, it's I don't know if it's every day, every other day, because we had block scheduling. Every time we're in that class, he's just running his mouth. It's almost like he couldn't stop it. It's like he had a bad case of small man syndrome, and I was the biggest dude in the class. I'm just keep running my mouth, running my mouth. And I remember I don't think I grabbed him. I think I grabbed his desk and I threw his desk into the wall, and he just happened to be sitting in it. Whoops. And then she was freaking out. What the fuck? What are you doing? Oh my God. I'm like, I fucking told you. I've told you over and over again, make this kid shut up. And so that was me being the bigger man, I guess.
And again,
But
years and years and years ago, I think, yeah, again, we're all,
yeah, I'm not
yeah.
even like talking shit.
Oh,
I'm
no,
not
no, no.
talking shit about him now.
Oh,
We'd
without a
probably
doubt.
be good friends. But hell, I remember you telling a story about uh walking through the gym at lunchtime or some shit and basketballs fucking bouncing.
No, no, no. We had just joined. It was all the freshmen. All the freshmen had just joined in. All the freshmen were sitting in like against the one wall on bleachers. Like we just all, I don't know if that was where we were supposed to sit. I don't know, but you and your brother were taking basketballs and whipping them into the bleachers, and we were all scared like rodents because it was like day one of high school. We're all like, yeah, yeah. But like I said, you and I got along back in the day. I mean, like I said, we didn't like we
Oh,
a few years between us. We didn't like go to the same parties necessarily, but we both went down to the pool hall a lot,
there was like
and and we would hang out at the pool hall. Like
yeah, the Menegos
yep,
pool hall.
yep,
They had
there you goes.
great
Yep,
pizza, good pool hall.
yep.
I
I
liked it.
lost my virginity to the Menego's Pizza Girl.
Nice. I don't think you told me that story, but I do
That's
know
I don't think we'll do that story for the podcast. That
I do
story.
remember I don't even remember how old we were, 15, 16, whatever we were, and we were just in there gambling all the time.
Ooh. I still can't hardly listen to Bush 16 Stone because that was one of the only albums on that fucking jukebox that was worth a shit. And so everybody just played it over and over and over again.
Oh,
Oh
you
man,
have
I
to
love
tell them
Meg
about
too.
the time that you beat me. You beat me at pool,
I beat
and
you at pool a lot, man. I was pretty good at pool back then, motherfucker.
no, you beat me at pool, and what was the deal? If you beat
One
me,
specifically because for any listeners that don't know, Keith looked pretty much like this when he was like 17, 16 years old. He basically looked like this, like
I
pretty
had a little
much.
more hair.
Maybe a little bit more, but not much. But you still shaved it, so it didn't it didn't matter. And I looked like I was 5 years old, and so we were all in there. We were, of course, we're all in there underage smoking. Nobody cared back then. And the rule
Oh,
was,
no.
I think we did it a couple of times that I remember playing against you, and if I beat you, the rule was take my money over across the street to the marathon and buy me a pack of smokes. I remember doing it a couple of times. I remember
I wasn't even old enough.
you being like, "God damn it!" Yeah, you weren't even old enough, but you just, and you'd be like, "God damn it, give me your fucking money. I'll be right back." And you go buy a pack of Newports. I'm like, "Thanks, my man. Appreciate you. Fuck you."
And it's kind of funny that back then none of the cops cared if we were smoking or anything, except for one, and I think you rented your house to him.
Oh, Rusty. Yeah, yeah. I remember being back behind Pates's, walking, smoking a cigarette during break, and I cut out of the corner of my eye. Well, was it a cigarette? I don't remember. But I remember palming it and just like burning the shit out of my palm. And then like the cop like just strolled by looking at me, and I was like, oh, I just like waving like, because I didn't really get caught that often. My parents called me a bunch, um, all the time. I was so stupid, man. I would
It's
just, like my parents were smokers. Now I look back and I'm like, I thought that I could just walk around reeking like cigarette smoke. My parents would be like, "What are you doing, man? You think
yeah,
you think we're stupid? You think we're stupid?"
I know. I had a massive heart attack at 38, and I quit smoking.
Yeah,
I had no clue how bad it smelled, and it's not
yeah.
like it's. I smell it now, and I'm not like, oh my god, they're disgusting. I'm like, holy shit, this is what I used to smell like.
Dude, when I was hanging out with Brian yesterday, because the guy I was talking about earlier in the story, he still smokes cigarettes. And he was like, "Hey, do you have a cigarette?" And he goes, "He remembered I smoked back in the day." And I'm like, "Nah, dude, I quit like 9 years ago." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, hey, man, good for you." He's like, "Does it bother you if I smoke?" And I'm like, "No, that's fine." And so we just smoked. And it's his house, so I'm not gonna tell him no, don't smoke in your own fucking house. But by the time I left, and as soon as I got back in my fucking car, I was like, "Oof," And it's the same thing like when I go to Duffy's. It always gives me like sinus shit. When I'm sit there, I don't know. Have you noticed it? Once you quit smoking and you extended, when I am like in a smoky room, it like my throat's a little sore today from it. Like
Yeah,
I kind of felt kind of nasally. I was like blowing snot rockets at the fucking cement plant all day.
yeah. Well,
But
I will say one thing to people that are trying to quit smoking. I quit cold turkey, but I had to. The worst part about it
right.
for me was 2 weeks, maybe a week to 2 weeks after I quit. They said, this stuff was growing back in my neck. Like, I don't know what it's called, but it was growing back in my neck, and that was the worst coughing fits I've ever had. It was like,
Mm.
I thought I had a bad smoker's cough, and they're like, "Oh, no, that whatever they're called is growing back, and then as you breathe, the dust and stuff is hitting them, or they're moving, and
Oh, like the cilias or whatever.
yeah,
The
whatever."
Yeah, the little hairs that when you're smoking, you're just burning fucking off.
Yeah, you
You
just
know?
burn them off. Yeah, that was odd. Actually, I
Yeah.
seen a guy at a Casey's gas station in Griffith, and they were cheering him on. He was like, "Oh, it's 3 or 4 days without smoking." And I told him, I'm like, "Hey, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Everybody thinks of the mental and all that, but you go a week or 2, and then that grows back, and then you're coughing, and you're like, 'What the hell? I'm trying to get rid of this cough, and what the hell is going on?'"
Uh-huh.
And that's what it
Well
is.
well, like I said, I quit because it just wasn't doing and it wasn't serving me anymore. I it was I was at the time at my I was, I used to have I still do a little bit, but not nearly like I used to. Really bad like anxiety and panic attacks. Like it kind of came out of the blue. I'll get into that one on a different show one day. But the when I would smoke sometimes, not all the time, but it was like 1 out of every 6 cigarettes. It would because what it does is it restricts your blood vessels, and so it would, like, make my heart pump harder, which would then increase my anxiety that was already ramped up, and so I would go from right on the border to being ramped up to being, like, right there, and all of a sudden, I'd have, like, a fucking mini panic attack where I'd be, like, real anxious and just be like, "Mm," and I didn't do anything for me anymore, man. And then I wouldn't smoke for a while, and I'd get like the brain zaps of like, "Hey man, you need a cigarette. Like, what are you doing, man?" And so finally I got strep throat real bad. And I had it and I was sitting outside and I'm trying to suck this cigarette down and it's like glass. And I just literally looked at it, put it out. I think my ex-wife came to pick the kids up later on and I was like, "Hey," and I like tossed her the rest of the cigarettes and she was like, "What?" And I go, "I'm done." And she was like, "Okay, sure." you know, and but that was it. I mean, I smoked the occasional cigar. I think maybe over the past 9 years, I've smoked 2 cigarettes just on like a whim, just to be like, I wonder And I didn't miss it. I didn't even finish them. I took like 2 drags and I was like, yeah, we're done with this. I gave it like to whoever I bummed it from, and I was like, no. It sounded good until I did it. The only thing I did on my birthday 2 years ago, I did put in a chew for the first time in a long time. And boy, oh boy, that's dangerous because I missed that. The chew is like a different fucking nicotine high. You put a dip in. I don't know how much you used to dip at all.
Not
No,
much. Never
I
got
used
into it.
I liked dipping more than I liked smoking once I did it. I started smoking, started dipping to try to quit smoking. And then, dude, when I lived in Wisconsin, I would go outside and smoke cigarettes with Sandy and come inside and play. And after we would smoke a cigarette, I'd come inside and start playing Madden. And I had my fucking empty beer bottle right there on the counter. And I put a dip in. And she'd be like, didn't you just smoke a cigarette? And I'm like, well, yeah, this is different. You know, it was so gross though too, dude. I'd have all like little black shit stuck between my teeth. But I liked the flavor, chef's kiss. But well shit, dude, we're at an hour for this is our longest show period. And we did a
Coming up
little bit
to
of
an hour. Coming up to an hour 45, man.
Yeah. I don't I think this is a good spot to stop. Again, we have an awesome show that will drop on late Tuesday night / Wednesday morning. We with the ghost hunter.
Why don't you just set that? I mean, you could set the time on that. Why don't you just set that to drop Wednesday morning?
Yeah,
Set
yeah,
it up for like 6 o'clock Wednesday morning. Why not?
yeah. Sounds good.
I think
So
that
yeah,
is a good show, though. He was
that one's probably
interesting
the
to talk
best.
to.
It was so good. So good. So yeah, but other than that, well, hey, you guys all have yourself a hell of a night. Go Hoosiers, go Bears, and thanks for hanging out with us.
Yep. Thank you. We are
Disenfranchised.